It says, we've had a lot of issues with the feed used for video recording. We use an auxiliary bus on our main house mix for video, and I tried to bring in some of the things that have a lot of direct feed into the house, but we can never get it sounding right. Can you make suggestions about how to manage the second mix and make it sound right on the video feed? And Scott,
Well,
if you want to jump in on this one too, but
yeah, I'm not going to let him jump in so fast. No, you totally can, but this is something that I'm hugely passionate about. And there's a couple couple tricks. First of all, the quieter you have your room, then the more terrible your direct console mix will sound. And that doesn't mean turn your speakers up in your room crazy loud, but you do have to understand that if you have the sound really soft in your room, then things like the drums, you're not really hearing from the microphones or the speakers, you're just hearing in the room. And the vocal is completely dependent on the mic. And so that's coming out of speakers the loudest. And there's other things that are in between. So, if you were to stick your head 1 foot from the speaker, clearly all you're really going to hear is vocals and some guitar, but no drums, right? And that's what the video mix sounds like if it's coming off of an aux mix. So the louder you have the speakers, then of course now more and more things are coming through the speakers, like all the drums and all that. So therefore these mixes automatically fix themselves. They start to sound right automatically coming off an aux because you're using more of the instruments through the speakers. But now, so that's as a backdrop. I'm not saying turn your mix up to fix your problem, but you have to think that way because you have to realize, wow, I got to turn a lot of drums up on my video mix because I don't really have them coming through the system very loud. Or if you're not making the drums at all, maybe your church is small and and you're just hearing all the drums from the room. Well, then you need to mic them just for the sake of the video mix, even if they're not coming through the speakers. Does that make sense? Secondly, if you get a pair of isolation headphones, so one of my favorites are Vic Firth headphones. They're only like $50 at Guitar Center or less than that. And they feel like these bricks because they go on, they're not electronic like the Bose noise canceling. They're just thick and like a brick, and they go on there and they isolate everything from the outside. So you can put those on and you can mix your aux mix in the perfect way. Another thing to think about is I know I'm blasting through a lot of tips, but put that aux mix on a post fader mix so that when you get the band sounding the way you like it to sound, and then now put those headphones on and now get the mix sounding right to your video mix, now take the headphones off, and throughout the service as you turn your vocal up or down, it will be turning the vocal up or down on the aux mix. And so that's another trick. Finally, it's good you're using an aux mix because the band is going to be so much louder than the pastor. And that's just nature. The band is naturally louder. When the pastor gets on stage, it feels like a third or a fourth of the volume, and that's accurate. But that means the pastor's aux channel is going to be turned a lot louder, and that's okay. If you have a digital console, you can get into compression of the aux mix and things like that to make it even another step fancier. But those would be the tricks. Mic everything, put those Vic Firth or whatever brand you have to isolate so you can kind of mix that up. Make sure that aux mix is post fader so that your fader moves are affecting that mix, and that'll help a lot.